Because then one time I recorded it and I could only hear you guys. And it was just like silence. And I'm like, well, that's not going to help anybody
Okay.
on YouTube.
Okay. Oh, there was just silence. Okay.
Yeah, because it was just user, because I pushed the wrong button.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Happens sometimes.
So how you guys been? Any things going on with you guys? Any problems in your mind or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I was pretty busy during the last days. A lot of things going on. A lot of things to manage. I don't know. And um yeah, things I can't even explain, like stupid things happened. Like, like I don't even know, all of a sudden challenges came up,
Oh
to
yeah.
like my mind was really like, how can I handle that? It was like kind of also getting angry in a way, and being like not in the best kind of yeah situation with my mind, and being challenged by my mind, a bit. Yeah.
Wow.
I would say. Yeah.
So life happened. Life was being
Yeah,
lifey.
exactly. Yeah, lifey. Yeah, unexpected things, all of a sudden were like, where's this coming from? I had no idea that this, was possible in a way. I mean, I knew it was possible, but happened to me already. But this time, really, it was all of a sudden, everything
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
How about,
sometimes it's like that.
sometimes it definitely is like that.
Mm,
Sometimes the majority of the time, depending.
yeah.
How about you, Judy? How have you been? Any problems with your mind or anything?
No, Master, I'm fine.
Good, good.
Mine's good.
Mind is good. Well, that's nice. Yeah, anger will happen, and life will happen. Problems will happen. But in a way, it's a good thing when they happen because when they happen, they allow you to practice the Dhamma. They allow you to practice the truth. They allow you to transform your unwholesome thoughts, feelings, emotions into wholesome thoughts. Every moment, moment by moment by moment. And we say, often we say we're going to go sit down and meditate, and we're going to do it for 15 minutes a day. We're going to do it, which is great. But eventually, you're going to learn that solitude is wonderful, meditating is wonderful. But as you develop a little bit more in your practice, you're going to realize that when you're sitting down to meditate, a lot of the times, what that beginning meditation and isolation is for is so that eventually over time you can see how you're sitting, how you're practicing sitting meditation with the expectation of getting something from it that you don't have now,
Mm, mm,
right? Because
mm,
that's why we get into spirituality. That's why we try to be actors and actresses. That's why we try to get ahead in our careers. That's why we try to achieve goals, is because we
mm,
want to get somewhere, get something that we don't yet already have. And the
mm,
whole practice that the Buddha taught was about, no, you can get satisfaction right here, right now, right
mm,
where you sit. It doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have goals. It doesn't mean that you can't have aspirations or whatever. But at the end of the day, you should be having goals, you should be having aspirations if it's something you enjoy doing. You know what I mean?
mm, mm.
And a lot of
Yeah.
times, a lot of people don't even understand this until they're older.
Mhm.
But it was the fun doing it the whole time that was the real joy of it when you reflect back on your life. It wasn't getting the awards. It wasn't, sure, they can sometimes be a little nice, but the best meat of the bone was actually playing the music, having fun while you're doing the sport, while you're preparing for your event, the journey, so to speak,
Mhm.
living. so many people, they have fantastic lives. You hear about them. They live in mansions. They go on boats all over the world, sail around the world, and it sounds so lovely. And I see a lot of these people, and at the same time, so many people, if they're not careful, they'll miss what's actually happening around them because they're so fixated on the future or so depressed and fixated on the past or so
Mhm.
fixated on building this character that they think is going to last forever called the ego.
Mhm. Mhm.
And anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, dissatisfactoriness by nature, and no self or not self is telling us that this idea of a self we have, sure, on some level exists, but it's not going to last. It's impermanent. So there's no reason to cling on to these things. There's no
Mhm.
reason to cling on to these things that cause dukkha, which dukkha means dissatisfaction. And we're tending to the garden of our mind. So we do the best we can throughout our day. And when we remember in a balanced way, we remember to look within ourselves, around ourselves. We begin to see our thoughts, feelings, emotions more clearly. And we say, is there any dissatisfaction there? And it could be very subtle, but usually it's identifiable. And we see it and say, oh, like you were saying about anger or the reality not going your way, doing the
Mhm.
things that you wanted to do.
Mhm.
And when we see that, we say, oh, yeah, okay, I want something that I don't yet have. But I know even if I got exactly what I wanted, I have the wisdom to see that it would do me no good because there would just be another thing that I want. Because nothing lasts forever. Nothing is always satisfactory. Everything is
Mhm.
everything in a way is just has no soul, no permanence that's going to continue.
Mhm.
So we can use that wholesome, nurturing language within ourselves when that thing arises that doesn't go our way, and we could say it's okay. We can say I never needed it anyway. If I get it, great. If not, great. Either way, I'm still going to have the Dhamma. I'm still going to have the teachings in my heart. I'm still going to have the truth. And the truth is, you don't need anything. You never did. That's why babies are
Mhm.
so happy. Well, until what? Until they need something like milk or to be burped or something. But I guess in a way they're kind of like us.
Yeah.
you know, they're content and they're happy. But I guess the point of what I was trying to say is like when we start this practice of change, this practice of empowerment, of not being passive, but actually, and not even in this sense. I often like to say, trying is enough. All you need to do is try, except for in the Eightfold Noble Path, because it's not a trying, it's a doing. You're doing it, you're
Mhm.
changing it. But ironically, oftentimes I'll change my unwholesome thoughts into wholesomeness by saying, when physical problems arise, all I can do is try my best. When emotional problems
Mhm.
arise, I could try my best. But
Mhm.
in fact, saying that is not trying. It's actually doing the practice. So I use the word trying in the sense of like calming myself, nurturing myself, saying, hey, man, if physical stuff happens, just try. If anger arises, that's okay. It's probably arising from something I can't control in reality that I want and I don't have
Mhm.
now. So you do the best you can and you move on. It may sound
Mhm.
passive in the trying part, but in actually the Eightfold Path, it's not trying at all. It's doing it. But you can use words
Yeah.
like trying in doing it. It's a little confusing. I probably should have chose a different word. But if you see what I'm saying, you can use gentle passive language to transform unwholesome thoughts into wholesome. But that
Mhm.
action itself, the action, the practice of the change is not passive. It's not trying. It's not you don't have to wonder if it's working. You're doing it in the moment
Mhm.
and immediately reaping the results.
Mhm.
And when you do that, it's like if you're smelling a beautiful flower, you know. You don't have to sit there and go like, I'm gonna try to enjoy this flower. I'm gonna try to smell this flower. No, you enjoy it. It happens naturally. And over time, it
Mhm.
becomes easier to find the pleasures in life and to take time out of our busy rat race lives to do more wholesome things, both actions and changing our inner worlds into more nurturing, peaceful places with our speech, with our right speech, which would be nurturing speech, wholesome speech, nurturing actions, wholesome actions. And it's quite simple. It's really just don't worry, be happy. Don't sweat the small stuff. And everything is small stuff. That's from a movie back in the day. I think the movie was called Smoke Signals. It's based off a book that I have somewhere. Ah, it's not magical. It's not something that is yet one more thing to run after, yet one more thing to chase and achieve and goal oriented and all this stuff. It's the one thing that you can do here and now, that anybody can do, that's available to all of us. And the only difficulty it may have is how easy and profound it is and how subtle it is in its simplicity. It's
Mhm.
magical only in the fact of its simplicity and practicality, you know.
Mhm.
I heard a Zen. I think his name was. I don't know if it was Zen Master Shung Sun or maybe. I don't think it was. It was another Zen man. I forget his name. But he was saying, there's no enlightened people. There's only enlightened activity, and I liked that
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
you can have an abbot of a monastery, you can have a monk with a shaved head, and you can have a layperson. And what do all these titles and ranks and societal classes and different conceptual notions? What's the difference between them if the abbot is not satisfied in the moment, the monk is not satisfied in the moment, but the householder is satisfied in the moment? What happens to their ranks? What happens to their class? Who cares? What
Yeah. Yeah.
happens if the
Yeah.
abbot's satisfied, the householder's
Mhm.
satisfied, but the monk is not satisfied? What
Mhm.
happens if the monk is satisfied, the abbot is satisfied, but the householder is not satisfied? It doesn't matter if you're a great spiritual leader. It doesn't matter if you're an abbot. It doesn't matter if you're a monk. It doesn't matter if you're a householder. The Buddha taught us, if you're not satisfied right where you are, right where you sit, if you're not developing, cultivating the practice of the Eightfold Noble Path to change the unwholesome into wholesome, thereby getting into a nice, gentle state of unification and samadhi, and coming back to the breath that's here and now, away from all these cognitive functions and conceptual notions. If we come back to the breath, the little baby dukkha's arise, and then we rinse and repeat the process with the nurturing words, the nurturing wholesome speech and action, and then we get back into this, what I like to call the samadhi state, and then we rinse and repeat. And we have to do it with the right amount of effort. So what's the right amount of effort to change our unwholesome thoughts, feelings, and emotions into wholesome, into satisfaction? Dukkha into sukha. Suffering, or a better translation, dissatisfaction into satisfaction. Dissatisfaction into joy. What's the right amount of effort? The answer to that question is just the right amount of effort to change the unwholesome into the wholesome.
Mhm.
Once it turns wholesome, once you're satisfied, no need for any effort until the baby dukkha's arise, really, because you're just satisfied,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
Once you're
Yeah.
satisfied, you don't have to keep like, oh, I'm searching for dissatisfaction. It's like, no, you do it in a balanced way as
Mhm.
the dukkha arises with just the right amount of effort to change it. And then you go back to being satisfied and you're in the
Mhm.
Garden of Eden again. You're in the kingdom of
Mhm.
heaven that Jesus told us is within us again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
yeah. What do you think so
sometimes
far?
it's, yeah, I think it's good, but sometimes it's just, I mean, this was really challenging, to me, but it's good, I like this, like, I like these challenges, to be challenged also, and to turn Sukha into what, yeah, to
Dukkha?
to turn in Dukkha
Dukkha
into
into sukha.
Sukha, yeah.
Suffering into joy,
So,
dissatisfaction into
yeah,
satisfaction.
yeah. Hmm. But
Instead of
yeah.
and it's a challenge in so much that it's the challenge like the challenge we like. It's the challenge like a fun game. We don't like easy games that are easy. Any child could win. We like challenging stuff.
Yeah.
So it's only
Yeah.
challenging insofar as, oh, that's exciting. We get in the attitude
Mm,
of, I can do this.
mm,
And when we're
mm,
remembering to look and change, and when we actually do change, don't forget it's very important to congratulate yourself because that's part of that nurturing. And then you get
mm,
this attitude of, yes, it's a pity wow. It's called pity in Theravada, but it's a pity wow factor of, wow, I can do this. This is
mm,
possible. It's not a
mhm,
myth. It's not some Western magical thing, enlightenment that people are chasing. It's a calm mind here and now. It's being satisfied here and now. Like my example with the abbot, the monk. Who cares what your title is if you're the king of France if you're dissatisfied? Why does that
yeah.
matter? You become a monk to learn satisfaction. You become an
Mm,
abbot because you got good at being satisfied. And there's no
mm,
difference between the householder, the monk, and the abbot if the householder also with his Dhamma practices learned to be satisfied. All three of them are Buddhas if they learn to be satisfied in the moment. And when that moment, if they do happen upon a little baby dukkhas that will naturally arise till the day we die, of tiny little dissatisfactions, we don't even mind those, so those don't even really become dissatisfaction. We're almost always satisfied.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And we'll get
It's actually
sick. Go ahead,
simple,
Judy.
right?
What's that?
What I'm saying is, it's been so simple all this while.
So simple you didn't even see it. It's like if you lose your glasses and you say, "Where are my glasses?" and they've been on your face the whole time, you know? Yeah, they've been there the whole time. Yeah, where are those darn glasses? It's like, where is my satisfaction? If I work harder at my job, will I get it? If I become a good enough saint of a person that people like me, will I get it? Will I come here? It's like, no. The nurturing, the ability to nurture oneself, to talk in wholesome ways, to act in compassionate ways, to act, to be in nurturing ways, has always been available to us. Always. And that's the beautiful thing. Even the suffering becomes a yin yang type of, I'm kind of glad it does exist because I wouldn't have this beautiful Dhamma. What would there be if it
Mhm,
wasn't for the baby Duke? It's the, like I've told you guys before, it's the nutrients for the soil.
mhm,
Uh it's the vitamins for the soil, it's the nutrients, it's the vitality. That's the suffering, you know. And we have
mhm.
to garden it though. It's not just going to turn into tomatoes. We have to do a little work, but if you love gardening, it's play. We buy our tomato seeds, we get excited about how they're going to taste once they grow. We check on them every day. We're happy to see the progress that we're making. And then all of a sudden there's a big red tomato and you say, "Wow, I can do this. This is
Mhm,
amazing.
mhm.
I can nurture myself. I can be satisfied right here right now."
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't have enough money for this. Oh, but this plan I had went there. Well, if you wake up like Ajahn Chah said and you said, "Do I have a bowl of rice to eat today?" Yeah. Do I have water to drink? Yes. Well, then all my problems are taken care of. Yeah, but what about this? But what about that? But what about that? Sure, if problems arise, try to change them. But you got your rice, you got your water, you're satisfied for the
Yeah,
day. Those are the real
yeah.
problems. You want a problem, have no water, rice. And even then we can use the
Mm,
Dhamma to fix that, like Master Dogen Zenji said when they didn't have noodles to give them or rice because there was a war going on and their supplies got cut off to the monastery. Dogen Zenji just smiled and said, "Oh, I guess we'll just eat warm water then." And he just smiled and was satisfied. But master, we have no food. So what? You know, there's an American Navy SEAL who's quite famous. His name's Jocko. I forget his last name, Willinks, maybe. I follow him on Instagram. But he tells this wonderful story when he was in combat, when he was, I believe, a general, platoon leader for sure, but I think higher ranking. But anyway, I'm not familiar with the ranking systems. But he was in control of a lot of dudes, and this one guy came up to him one day. He's like, "What is it with you?" He's like, "Everything I say to you, I say, General, we don't have any food. Good." He says, "General, our supplies got squashed. We have to go hike in the desert. Blah blah blah. We have no car." Good. His response to everything was good
Mm,
because he was that Navy SEAL was very wise and that he knew what benefit is it to complain?
yeah, they
What
get even more nervous. The
exactly?
people he takes care of. Yeah, yes, yeah.
Who's going to win the
Mm,
challenge? Somebody who
mm,
says, "Good, bring the challenge here," or somebody who's afraid of the challenge, questioning everything, complaining
yeah.
about everything, you know? The
Mm,
person who is going to thrive is the person that not only believes but knows they can do it and welcomes the challenges. Like Ajahn Chah said, it was very similar to what I just told you about Jocko Willink. Ajahn Chah would say, he used a word, I'm sure the translation's off, but he would say it's something along the lines of like, "Oh well, so what?" Like, "Master, we have no food." "Oh well, so what?" "Master, you have cancer, you're going to die in 2 weeks." "Oh well, so what? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be a good thing in the end. We don't know. We can't
yeah.
now."
No, it's also always, I think it's always to like, you die, like when doctors say, like, you die for sure, like in 1 month, let's say. How can you be that sure? You never know. I mean, there are many people who got like, you are dead in 1 month and they survive,
Right.
like, since many people, you know.
You just
Oh,
did the eightfold path right there. You
mm,
thought of a situation that brings down a lot of people, and you said, "But what if I changed the way I spoke about it? What if I changed the way I thought and felt about it?" And you just did that. You said,
mm,
"A lot of people outlive the doctor. Say, oh, you got 2 weeks. They end up living for 7, 8, 10 years. They outlive the doctors
yeah,
sometimes." And
yeah.
that's the mentality that I'm gonna have because what's the other side of the coin?
Yeah.
Suffering? No, thank you.
Mm, mm,
I like being happy. I like enjoying being. And it goes the same with relationships. Oh, you're in a relationship, you can't seem to get out of it. Maybe your partner doesn't do exactly what you want when you want to do it. Maybe they're not happy with you for this or that. Well, you try your best you can to get out of it. If that doesn't work, if you find yourself you're kind of stuck, then you deal with it the best you can. Oh well. Some days, my partner will say very nice things about me. Look for the good things in them. Look as your negative partner that seems to be unescapable as your best Zen master, your best teacher,
mm, mm,
who is teaching you that this is what life is. It's not what we want. Can you be satisfied with that? And they're
mm.
good masters. Any difficulty in life, anything that comes your way that challenges you almost to the brink of death or despair, these can be our greatest assets, our best nutrients for the soil. You know, it can awaken
Yeah.
something in us that we didn't even know was there. These beautiful things, this beautiful warmth within us,
Hmm.
is there, and you do have access to it. And even people who don't know about Buddhism, who even cares about the word Buddhism, who even cares about these words of descriptions, but just for the sake of speaking, there's people out there who've never heard of Buddhism, and they wake up and they have learned with their own wisdom naturally, what's the use of complaining? They've
Yeah.
learned to be appreciative of even the smallest thing that they have. They naturally live simple lives because they're already so satisfied. And you don't have to
Mm.
pay a mortgage of $400,000 if you learn to be satisfied with a very tiny apartment or tiny house or shack in the forest. You don't have to pay any rent. You don't have to
Mhm.
pay much in medical bills if you're willing to let go. If you're willing to
Yeah.
say, well, I tried the medical stuff. It's not working. I don't have the money. Well, I guess I'll just see what the universe has in store.
There
You
are
know,
many other options.
many other options. There's always other options. And
Yeah.
even having not so stressful of a mind actually has quite a benefit on the biological faculties. I used to work with animals. I would see hamsters and things. I would see them die from stress.
Mm,
You had to be careful how you
mm-hmm,
handled them.
mm-hmm.
It can destroy the body. It can make us sick, make us all kinds of things, all kinds of ailments. So we have to, we don't have to, but we should be aware of those things.
Yeah.
What say you, Judy?
Nothing, master. So
Doing
far,
good?
so good, master.
So far, so good. Cool.
Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah.
Good.
So I think it's good for me. It was always like, I know also why I have this, why I always bring myself in these situations, because I'm always like, many times I already know things are not good for me, especially with people. I know this, like the chemistry is, it's not working anymore, but I still stay in contact with something. I already know it's not going to work out. And I stay there and I stay there, and then all of a sudden, it's the boom, the crash. you know
Mm,
and then I'm surprised that I am surprised.
mm,
you know this is
yes.
also like interesting in life. Like, already this is not going to work out with friendships. It's not going to work out, but you keep going. So sometimes it's also because, like in music, because I play with people, and I keep playing with people that I know it's not going to work out,
Mm,
but I still do it because I'm, in a way, I'm also like, so I think like this music needs that kind of person to be in it, this kind of extra thing, and then it's already impossible for my mind to let go, in a way.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have all types of sankaras, all types of habits that
Yeah.
uh and that like my teacher said is the real karma, is the real karma, is these bad habits.
Mm.
Hitting ourselves on the head, banging our head against the wall over and over, thinking something different is going to happen. And so much of life, 90 something percent of life, a lot of the problems people have, they create themselves.
Yeah, totally.
If we get in the habit of just not doing stupid shit, it's amazing how much time and effort and misery that saves us. Just if we follow the simple words of don't do stupid shit. Like,
Yeah.
so many times, just like you're saying, some outcome happens. You're like, well, what did we think was going to happen?
Yeah,
We were playing with fire and then we got burned. Oh my goodness.
exactly. Like like a kid, always playing with the
Yeah.
fire, and I just don't get it that it's going to burn,
Mm.
So this is,
But then we also have the mindset of we're partly human, you know? So we're
yeah.
gonna make mistakes. It's no big deal. That's what it means to be human, is to make some
Mm,
bad decisions once in a while. And we try to learn from them the best we can and move on. But
yeah.
I took a lot of pressure off myself once I told myself like you're just partly a human, you know?
Mm,
It's like I'm not some uh spiritual leader or guru or anything like that. I'm just partly human. I'm just the elements, just like you guys.
mm,
And I'm gonna make mistakes. I've made mistakes in the past, and I guarantee you I'll make mistakes in the future. But because I'm
yeah.
okay with this, that would be the only thing that helps to separate me from ordinary people's minds.
Mm,
That I'm okay with that. It doesn't mean I want to do bad stuff. It doesn't mean I want to make mistakes. It doesn't mean that I want to do any of these things. Um, but if I do, I'm aware of the fact that, oh yeah, I'm as unsurprised as if the bird is flying in the sky. The bird, by its nature, flies. The human, by its nature, is very sensitive. It does good
Mm.
things, it does bad things, it makes good decisions, it makes bad decisions, it makes mistakes, it makes uh, the right decisions. This is what it means to be human. And if you fight
Mhm.
against that your whole life, you're fighting against reality. Oh, I messed
Yeah,
up here. And it even works
yeah, yeah,
both ways with our parents, too. A lot of times we blame our parents. They should have done this, they should have done that. And we like to
yeah.
play the victim. In life, we play
Terrible.
the victim in all situations. Well, they should have done
Yeah.
this, they should have done that, poor me. And then we
Mm.
get this victim bad habits, this victim karma, this victim pity party, in the negative sense, pity party, not the positive sense, but we get this victim mentality. And
Yeah,
that is such a big part of what drags us, that what can drag us down is when we
yeah, and
say,
also others,
and
and
others.
also others.
Yes. Because
Yeah,
we have to have the confidence like my teacher says, like of a winner, of a lion.
mm.
That yes, we
Mm.
can do this. We can change. We are not victims. We have the power to change. We have the power to do it. It's a simple practice. It's a fun practice.
Yeah,
Why do we do anything? What do we want? All humans. What are we doing when we get in relationships, when we have goals, when we go to careers? What are we doing? What do we want? Satisfaction. That's what we want.
mm.
But it never dawned on us just to be satisfied with the way things are. You know?
Yeah,
Maybe if I get the car or the break in this career or this trophy husband or wife or this or that or this amount of money, then I'll be happy. We've seen people get all those things. They often don't seem very happy.
yeah,
Often that seems the opposite. The more they get, like Biggie Small says, more money, more problems, you know?
yeah. Yeah, because it's not things that they actually want. They never wanted that from the beginning. It's like living a life for someone else, not your own life. You don't live your own life in a way, you know?
Yeah. You're living the life society told you to live.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
acting the way society told you. And society needs to sell lots of stuff. And they're not
yeah,
going to be able to sell you lots of stuff if you're sitting over there being content, being
yeah,
satisfied, being happy. They're going to sell you stuff if you feel miserable about yourself. That's how they make money.
yeah, yeah.
Because what could by definition, a satisfied person doesn't need very much to be satisfied. They're fine.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they have nothing that they want that's not with them already, you know?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
No, it's good to see everything in a positive way, and to accept also challenges, and turn it into joy, and just being thankful for everything. And like you say, it's okay being human. It's okay, and I also don't look back like regret something. It was in the past. Things you do, you do it because in the moment it's the right thing for you to do. You just act the way you think it's good, and that it works out. But I think there is also a point where you come to the point and you feel when you come to the point where you just say, okay, and now I just let go of it and it's good. And after that, you feel just released. For a moment, probably it will be challenging, but after that, you just feel released and you just let go. And you are just thankful for all those experiences you were able to make. So,
Yes, absolutely. It's more of the emptying out process.
yeah.
Emptying out and letting go, not just a little bit, but letting go completely.
Yeah.
Letting go of all the thoughts, Master.
What's that, love?
Letting go of all the thoughts, is it?
Hmm. Yeah. Letting go, gently letting go. And if we can't let go, that's okay too. You see, no matter what happens, it's okay. But
Yeah.
but the teaching is that you can change them. And that is the letting go we're speaking of. If something happens, oh, I'm sad. And we can throw a pity party and say, I'm the victim. I'm sad. Everybody's against me, blah, blah. And that's what society's
Yeah.
taught us to do. That's what everybody's told us to do.
Yeah.
But instead, when we're sad, we go, oh, it's okay. It's just a biological emotion. I'm a human. I'm sensitive. I'm partly human. It's going to happen. It won't last. And I always remember everything's fine right now. See this speech? Bring yourself back to the breath, to reality. Everything's fine in this moment. There's just
Yeah.
breathing. There's just sunshine. I'm here with my two friends. Nothing is around us. There's nothing that's going to fall on our head. There's no mean people saying mean things around us. No, it's just a nice, pleasant room and a pleasant day with our pleasant breath. And you take a big, deep breath. Oh, that feels good to let go. See, and that's the
Yeah.
anapanasati. That's real anapanasati. Taking these big breaths of relaxation, of relief, of lightness. When you breathe like that, everybody does it who's not even Buddhist or into the Dhamma. They breathe and you can feel the letting go energy in the breath. That's the anapanasati.
Mm.
That's the remembering to look at the breath, come back to these nurturing, wholesome thoughts of the breath, of the moment, here and now, learning to be satisfied here and now, where you can go, oh, that's a relief. And then pat yourself on the back. Congratulations. You've learned to be satisfied here and now. And then
Mm.
the secret to the sauce is the baby dukkha's will arise, and we rinse and repeat yet again. And we'll do it to the day we die. That's nibbana. That's practicing the Dhamma. It's not, oh, I got to the samadhi state and now it's here to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. The baby dukkha's arise. The weeds will come back after you've made your garden perfect. That's nature. Don't be
Mm.
surprised when the weeds come back. That's how things work. Nobody can get rid of that,
Mm.
not even the Buddha. But like the Buddha, when the baby dukkha's arise, we pluck them out when they're little babies, when it's easy, not when they're big, thick oak trees, which is a little more difficult. As they
Yeah.
arise, catching them as they arise. And we don't have to be crazy about it all day. Oh, am I dissatisfied? Oh, because that's just causing dissatisfaction. We
Yeah.
do it in a balanced way, a joyful way. And
Yeah.
if you ain't satisfied, you ain't doing it right. Unless you have the attitude of, I don't even need to be satisfied. Then that's satisfied already.
I don't need to
Who
be
cares if I'm
satisfied.
not satisfied? And that is what we're talking about. That is the Eightfold Path. That's learning to be satisfied even when things aren't the right condition. Who cares
Mm.
about enlightenment? Who cares about Buddhism? Who cares about I need to be satisfied? I'm happy just sitting here. There you go. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just doing what you love.
Just doing what you love. You know? You don't
Yeah.
need to be enlightened. You don't need to be this, to be that, yet one more thing that's not here right now. And that's why in Dhamma they're always coming back to the breath, because the breath is bringing you back to reality. And the truth is, there are no scary bears here who want to rip our heads off. That's the truth. There are no people, there are no problems. It's just you and me and the breath.
Mm.
If there is a giant bear here that wants to rip my head off, I don't need to contemplate it. I don't need to philosophize or think about it. I don't need to make plans. My body's going to kick into automatic mode of fight or flight. That's what happens when problems arise. You don't even have to worry about them. It takes care of itself. That's a
Mm.
real problem. A bear coming, you know?
That's a real problem. Yeah.
And even then, it's not even that big of a problem because your brain goes on shut-off mode and you just either fight or flight or die. And then all your problems are over.
Yeah.
So there's really no problems in life.
Yeah. Well, maybe there may be better ways to die.
Nope, that's the best way, does
Yeah. I want to
it?
be like eaten by a bear. That's a bear. That's like my dream.
On the bright side, when they do eat you, they do it slowly, so there is a high
Oh,
probability that you might escape.
nice. Nice.
because they give you a
Nice.
longer
So you
chance. Yeah.
can escape without an arm or without any
The
housing.
tiger doesn't give you that opportunity. The tiger goes straight for the jugular, straight for breaking your neck, straight for
That's
cutting off the
perfect.
air. That lasts a minute
So
or two. The bear can last
I
hours.
prefer the tiger.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
I kind of would like the
Sure.
bear.
Fast. It has to be fast. Come
Yeah.
on.
The bear would be oh no, that's crazy. I've seen some crazy videos on bears, man. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
You know what I've learned about the internet and its crazy animal videos is I don't care what the person says, how good the animal trainer is. If they say, "Come here, want to take a picture with our tiger? Want to take a picture with our
Yeah.
bear?" It's trained, don't worry. No. Remember I said
No.
90% of problems don't do stupid shit and don't take pictures with any wild animals unless at a safe distance
Yeah.
because
With a fence in between. Yeah.
it very rarely turns out well to stand next to a apex predator, one who's been chained
Yeah.
up and enslaved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't
Bait
end
is
well.
rich in it. Yeah.
Unlike this
All
group
right.
call.
Yeah.
So you
That was
guys
nice.
got anything to say before we leave?
I say
Nothing.
thank you.
Oh,
I say thank you. It was really, really helped. Really
thank you
helped a lot.
both.
You know, feel already much better.
And you're both on time.
Thank you,
That's
Master.
very good. See, it just takes a little bit of discipline, but discipline is not really discipline if it's something that is worthwhile. Then it becomes play, something that you love to do. But thank you both for being on time, and thank you for speaking with me. Much peace
Thank
and
you.
love to you. I'm always available if you have any questions at all.
Thank you,
Thank
Master.
you.
Thank you
so
guys.
much. Bye. Take
Much peace
care.
and love.
Peace and love.